Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Stitch Sessions, and welcome back to our final installment in our 2020 Year of the Bride crochet series. So for our final installment, which is December, we're going to work on this beautiful lush bridal muff, and you can see it's been embellished here with a little clip. And what I love about this design, not only is it super easy, all you have to know are single crochet stitches, but that it is also kind of serves a multi-purpose. So it serves as a muff where you can place your hands in as well as here. And it can also serve as a beautiful cowl or collar to any formal coat or any coat of any kind. But you can simply take the pin out and you can wrap it around your neck and create a beautiful collar, just like that. And then you can reapply the pin in there. So this is actually a double function project. I think it's perfect for a December bride. Keeps your hands nice and cozy, especially if you're doing any of those outdoor photo shoots, etc. And this won't take you very long to do either. So if it's something perhaps maybe you want to do for the whole bridal party, or a gift for anyone really, but I think this would be a beautiful accent to a winter wedding. So without further ado, let's get all of our materials together and let's get working on our beautiful bridal muff. And by the way, if this is your first time on our channel, make sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button, and that way you won't miss any time we upload a new video, which is every Wednesday. And we'll also leave a link to our Year of the Bride playlist for 2020 down below. And you can see all of the projects that we've done since the beginning of the year throughout 2020. And stay tuned. We've got another new crochet series coming up for 2021, and we'll let you in on that coming up very shortly. In the meantime, let's get stitching up our bridal muff. Okay, so here are the things we're going to need to create our bridal muff. Number one is the yarn, and because it is for the December bride, I really wanted to kind of get into that white Christmas type of feel. And here's a little swatch here of what it looks like, and it is just divine to the touch. It's super soft, and it'll be nice and cozy on a winter day. So this is the fur yarn by Loops and Threads. It comes in a ball of 100 grams. You won't need more than 100 grams. As always, it will depend on how long and how thick you'd like to make your muff. I'm not going to make mine too long or wide. And in fact, you can actually use this muff as a collar or a cowl later on. So it can be kind of multi-purpose depending on how you make yours. I do want to preface, if you are super new, this will be a little bit challenging to work with because it is difficult to see your stitches. So I think you can see here that it's just, you can't really see where the stitches are. So you're going to have to get comfortable very quickly with feeling your way through the stitches. And in fact, that's one of the reasons why in this particular project, we're going to keep the stitch very simple, just basically using single crochets. But I do want to warn you, as lovely as this feels, it can be challenging to find your stitch if you're a little bit newer to crochet. So just all that means, it doesn't mean you can't do it. Just be prepared to pack your patience, take your time. You might have to undo it a couple of times, but it isn't anything that you can't do. Okay, so that is the yarn that I'm using for this project. Now the hook here calls for a size 10 millimeter hook here, and I have decided to go ahead and use an 8 millimeter hook, also known as an L or an 11, and I just found that it was much more comfortable to work with and just made the stitches a little bit more snug, which is what I was aiming for. So that is the hook I'm using. As always, make sure you have a pair of scissors on hand and of course a trusty darning needle to sew in your ends. Now, one additional thing that I have here, this is actually a comb, and as you can see, it's got some crystals here, and it actually was used on a bride. Now, the only thing is the comb is very delicate and it bent a little bit already. So I am actually going to use this. I'm not sure if the camera will pick that up, but it's cracked there already. So I'm going to use this as a bit of a closure. You know, sometimes on shawls and things like that, people use pins. I'm going to use this, and as you can see, it just slides ever so nicely into that, and I just think it looks gorgeous there. So this is what I'm going to use to close my muff. And the reason why I'm doing that instead of sewing it along the edge is because I also want to be able to use this as a collar. So this is going to be kind of a multi-purpose project, but super easy to do. I think you're going to be very excited to dive into this. So let's get started. Okay, so let's begin. So what you want to do is you want to place a slip knot on your hook. Now, I debated working on this tutorial actually using a different type of yarn just so you could see, but I thought I'm going to stick with this yarn, even if you're a little bit newer, just so that I can kind of take you through how to work your way through finding stitches. And it's not like I'm a super expert at it, but I have a method of how I do it, and I figured it would be a great way to guide you through how to navigate that. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with a slip knot on our hook, and just like you usually would, and however you place a slip knot is fine. Okay. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start by creating the width of our muff. And so we're going to start off by chaining 21 chains. Okay. So you're just going to yarn over as usual and pull through. Now, this is where it's super important. You don't want to get too tight here because it's going to make it that much more challenging for you to find your stitches. So you can see already it's going to be a bit challenging to find the stitches. So as you do a few chains, I would recommend you just start getting a feel, just like that, to find all of your loops. Okay, so continue on until you have 21 chains, and not too tight and not too loose either. And then I'll meet back up with you shortly. Okay, so I've chained my 21, and I just wanted to kind of double check here. It's going to give me a width of approximately 10 inches, which is about 23 centimeters, okay, give or take. Now, again, like I said, you can make yours a little wider if you want, but 10 inches is just perfect for me. So I've got 21 stitches. And so what we're going to do now, which is going to feel a little funny, is we want to find the second stitch from your hook. Now, remember, as always, we never count the stitch that's on our hook. Let me make sure I'm in focus here. So you want to feel your way. So I can feel that that's my very first stitch there. And the great thing about this yarn, in a way, is that it does have this darker lining here. So it helps a wee bit. Okay, so that's my hook is here. This is my first stitch, and there is my second stitch. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to insert my hook into that stitch, and I'm going to place a single crochet into that stitch. Okay, just like you normally would. It's just that's going to look really fuzzy. Okay, just like that. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to now feel my way into the next stitch, which is right there. Insert my hook and place a single crochet. And I'm going to do that all the way down till I get to the end of my chain. And I'm just finding my very last stitch here to insert and single crochet. So now what I have is 20 single crochet stitches in total, and that is correct because we started working into the second chain from the hook. Now right now you're probably thinking, I have no clue what stitches are even here. That's normal with this yarn because see how it creates a lot of that fuzz effect. So this is why you really need to depend on your sense of feel. So we now know that we're going to need to have 20 stitches every single time we come to the end of a row. So what I try and do is just always count as I go with this particular yarn because it'll save me having to feel my way back. Although if you need to, that's exactly what you're going to have to do. And this is basically the repeat for the rest of the project. So once you come to the end of your row, you will chain 1, turn your work, and what we're going to do is we're going to find what we're going to do here is you're going to find the very first stitch, and we're going to work into that very first stitch. Okay. And again, you're going to have to feel your way through 1 single crochet. And then I'm just going to feel my way here and single crochet across. And this is pretty much it until you get to the length that you want. So this is probably one of the easiest of all of our Year of the Bride projects in this year's series. As if you know the single crochet stitch, you are off to the races. What makes this one probably the easiest, but the most challenging also, is the yarn that we are using. Okay, so as you can see, I'm just feeling my way through. And so you can see it's starting to kind of build up its length. So this is it, guys. Super easy. Chain 21, turn your work, second chain from the hook, you will single crochet back across. You will have 20 stitches in total. For every row beyond this, you chain 1, go into the very first stitch, and single crochet all the way across, chain 1, and all the way back, chain 1, and continue back and forth. Make sure you have 20 stitches every single time so your edges lay nice and straight. And that's it. That's how we're going to create our muff. So I'm going to set you loose right here, and I'll meet back up with you when you've created the length that you desire. Now, what I am going to do is create a length of 40 rows. Okay, so my length is going to be 40 rows. Once I have 40 rows, I'm going to meet back up with you and take you through what's going to happen next. Okay, and here we have it. You see, really short and simple. This is probably the quickest bridal project or even crochet project that you've ever done. So I've gone ahead and I've done 60 rows. I know initially said I was going to do 40, but I had just a wee bit of yarn left over, so I just went ahead and finished everything that I had. So mine is 60 rows in total, which is actually even better to work if I'm going to use this as a bit of a cowl or a collar. And just FYI, the length of this measures 20 inches or approximately 30 centimeters in length, okay? So you can see it's just beautiful and luscious and just oh, so cozy for a beautiful winter bride. So how you can work the muff, and this is why I brought in the pin so it can be used either way. Now, you can make this permanent. What I would do is fold this in 3s, okay? And the reason why I do that, now you can do one of 2 ways, sorry. You can fold it in half, simply, and it can be a cowl, and you can just kind of hide your hands in here like they do with the, traditional little muff there. The reason why I'm folding it in 3 is so that each of your hands has its own little compartment. So when you fold it in 3, one of your hands can slip in here, and the other one, whoops, can slip through there. So that way, you really kind of keep each hand nice and toasty, okay? And then, like I said, I just kind of fold it in 3, and then I apply my pin. And again, you can tell this is a hairpin. But there's lots of brooch pins that you can use, all kinds of things. Or you can simply sew it. Sew this edge here, and you can sew in through the center there if you'd like it to maintain a little bit more of a permanent structure. But that's basically it. That is our bridal muff. Super easy, really quick to do. And I hope you guys have had a good time working on this. I hope you've enjoyed coming along on our bridal series. So this was our crochet series for 2020. And again, we have another one in store coming up for 2021. So stick around with us. If you haven't pressed that subscribe button, please make sure that you do so that you always know every time we upload a new video or talk about our next crochet series. And don't forget that we also offer an interactive online crochet class. We usually do them in 4-week series. We hold them through the Zoom app. And what's really great about that is that you can show me your work, you can ask questions live, and I can help you right there on the spot. And of course, our YouTube videos are always free. And the beautiful thing about the YouTube videos are that you can press pause, rewind, go forward, go back, and do it at your leisure. All right. And remember to tag me on Instagram at The Stitch Sessions. You can also find me on Facebook at The Stitch Sessions as well. And if you have any questions whatsoever, please remember that you can email me directly at info@crochetcrafty.com or simply leave a comment in the comment box down below. So, on that note, everyone, I want to wish you a wonderful holiday season. Happy wedding day for all you December brides, and wishing you a wonderful rest of 2020. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next session. Take good care and see you all soon.